Body positivity and diet culture are two wildly different things, but they're much more similar than you may realize. One of them is uplifting your body no matter what size you are, even when you may be on the brink of death, while the other one is never celebrating your body no matter how small you get. But there are a couple key similarities between the two. Before I get into this video, let me introduce myself so I'm not some random guy yapping at you. Hi, I'm Richard. You can call me Rain. I make videos about kind of whatever I feel like. Obviously, before I get into this video, trigger warning for eating disorders. And sorry if I sound a little weird. I have rubber bands on my braces that make it hard for me to talk. Anyways, first I'm gonna go talk about body positivity. Body positivity, by definition, is a movement and philosophy that promotes self-acceptance and appreciation of one's body, regardless of its size, shape, or appearance. But in practice, it isn't exactly the same. You see, in theory, I agree with this statement. You deserve to love yourself and you deserve to be loved and accepted in society no matter what your body looks like. But it gets taken too far when you're promoting obesity. I think I should explain that a little further. Being obese is by definition very fat or overweight, and it's usually considered a medical condition when someone is, well, very fat or overweight. Obese people are often close to death and may have difficulty doing something that someone at a healthy weight or even slightly overweight may have an easy time doing. Something as simple as walking might be hard because of the amount of strain that is on an obese person's knees. So when you have an extremely obese person on your screen telling you that it's okay to eat copious amounts of food, telling you that it's okay to be obese and 500 pounds, that's a problem. It's not okay because you could literally die. If you've seen the TLC show, My 600-Pound Life, then you should know this. At least 10 people died during the filming of that show due to obesity-related complications. Well, compared to the potentially hundreds of people that have been on that show, 10 people is still a lot. There's this YouTuber that I watch, Megan Ann. I would totally check her out. She's great, and she's super respectful about everything that she does. Anyways, she's someone who used to be a lot heavier, but she worked hard. She got that weight loss surgery, and now she's lighter. She talks a lot about the body positivity movement. I remember one of her videos when she said that she was in the body positivity space. She claimed that she was at her heaviest. In my opinion, you kind of get into that cycle where you're thinking that you have an extreme excess of carbs and extreme excess of food is okay, while it's not okay for your body. I understand that this is an eating disorder, but also if you have an eating disorder, then you can go and seek help. Along with promoting obesity, the body positivity space is very toxic, especially to those who lose that weight. There are a lot of body positive influencers that lost weight and now often get hated on by the same people who used to uplift them. In this space, losing weight is seen as not taking care of yourself, but it's seen as conforming to societal pressures. I'm not talking about unhealthily losing weight, which I'll get into later in our diet culture section, but I'm talking about obese people who lose a lot of the weight that makes them obese healthily. Keep in mind that these people who are obese and healthily losing this weight are often an In-N-Out hamburger away from death. Losing that weight should be celebrated, but instead of celebrating them, these people who claim to be body positive advocates put these people down. They claim to advocate for body positivity, but it only ever applies to their own body type, not others. And this directly goes against the meaning of body positivity and the very thing that they claim to be advocates for. Now, I'm going to be talking about diet culture. I'm not talking about those people who say you should eat healthy or the people who say limit the amount of sweets you take in to a reasonable degree. But if you're at the point where you're starving yourself to have your dream body, that's dangerous, obviously. There are whole communities of people who have eating disorders showing off their bodies and encouraging each other to keep going. This is dangerous. There are people who comment on videos of others when they are clearly sick saying how this is their dream body. Diet culture has ruined teenage girls' self-esteem. If you have a uterus and that causes your belly to stick out, you're fat. If you can't see your ribs, fat. If you have some fat on your arms, fat. It's so frustrating to see people go down the rabbit hole of believing they're not good enough, even though their bodies are perfectly healthy, especially because I've been there before. For full transparency, I am 5'5" and I weigh 135 pounds. That's a perfectly healthy weight for someone my height. I've been lighter, but I've realized that eating properly makes me happy. A couple years ago, I used to skip lunch and breakfast, only eating dinner. I used to not eat any snacks in between. I was literally starving myself, and that's not healthy. But that's because of the stuff that I saw online and because of the people had told me I believed that 130 pounds for someone who was 5'3" at the time was not good enough. I believed I wasn't skinny enough, and especially to younger teens who get influenced easily, this can be so harmful for their brains. It's so creepy and disgusting that society feels the need to constantly comment on teenage girls' and women's bodies, especially. I'm not saying that eating disorders don't exist in men. I'm literally a guy, and I literally spoke about my eating disorder experience that I mentioned. But society often feels the need to comment on women's bodies more than men, and it's absolutely disgusting. The people who are going through this and consuming this content are sick, and they need professional help normally. But a lot of the time, what we see online is that these people have bonded together and are encouraging each other, just like we saw in the body positivity section. Diet culture is very harmful, and a lot of the fitness influencers that promote it are getting plastic surgery. Many of the young girls and boys who see this content feel insecure because their bodies don't naturally look like that, even though it's not natural. But they don't know that because these influencers promote themselves as all natural. It's horrible. A lot of these people also promote unhealthy eating habits when they 100% don't follow them themselves. It's disgusting. Now, in my opinion, the differences in these two are easier to see, so I'll start with that. First of all, the obvious, they're polar opposites. Body positivity aims to uplift obese people and tell them that their bodies are okay and society needs to bend to their will. On the other hand, diet culture is the opposite. It tells people that any body fat is bad and you need to be as skinny as humanly possible to look good. Now the similarities. Obviously, they're both harmful in their own ways, but the biggest thing is they're promoting being unhealthy. Body positivity tells people that being overly obese is okay and it won't kill you. Meanwhile, diet culture is telling you that being severely underweight is okay and it looks good. Both of these are harmful and toxic concepts. You need to eat to stay alive, but at the same time, you need to eat in moderation to keep yourself alive. It's a very delicate balance that obviously would take research and effort to maintain, but I think that with effort and with the motivation to take care of your body, then it can be done. Being obese and severely underweight isn't okay, and it isn't okay to promote it either. Obviously, people are deserving of love no matter what they look like. Whether you are obese or severely underweight, you deserve the love of those around you. It's not okay or fair to treat these people with less kindness and less empathy because of their body. Everyone's situations are different, and everyone deserves to exist, but it becomes a problem when you're telling people around you that being unhealthy is okay. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you enjoyed this video, consider liking and subscribing. If you didn't, then you can leave a comment talking about how much you hated this video, I guess. I don't really care. Until next time, peace out, bitches.